So, hello. Tamika Davis here, and I'm excited to be going live and talking to you about a book that I recently read. Now, I knew that I was going to be doing this live sometime this week before I had finished reading the book because I wanted to hold myself accountable to making sure that I could get through it. And I did not get all the way through it, but I didn't want to push this off any further because I think that it's important to just start. And we're going to talk about that. So many times we want to wait till we have everything all taken care of, or this finishes or that finishes. And sometimes we miss out on the blessings that are in store for us because we're like waiting, and things keep coming up and things getting pushed back. And, by doing that, we're missing out on opportunities that are here and now. Okay. So as you're hopping on, say hello. I'm doing this live in the Get Fit Club. So if you're not part of that, make sure that you join. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching the recording on a different Facebook or Instagram or different social media platform, make sure that you comment below, tell me hello, where you're watching from. And today I'm going to tell you about this book right here. I've got a lot of little note cards in there so I can make sure that I hit these pages. But the book is called Leveraging the Universe by Mike Dooley. Let me turn off these sounds so that way they'll put. It's called Leveraging the Universe by Mike Dooley. Now, this is probably not a book that I would purchase for myself. It was actually a gift from one of my upline leaders. And I'm open to all things, okay? But I do believe in certain things, okay? So I believe in God. I believe that He created everything, that we are here on earth to learn and grow. And when we die, we'll go back to Him. And I also believe that our lives are pretty much mapped out for us. Some of the things that we'll go through, we go through them, I believe, for a reason to help us grow into the people we need to become in our afterlife in heaven. Okay, so that is my foundational beliefs. And so when I hear things about leveraging the universe and engaging in life's magic, like I said, I'm open, right? But I do believe in a higher plan. But while I am here, why not participate in everything that could be available to me? Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to make sure I pull up my live video here. So that way, if you guys are commenting live, that way I can engage with you and answer some questions. Okay, so like I said, I wanted to go through this book with you and just kind of summarize and tell you the different pieces that I've actually seen manifesting in my own personal life, and invite you that if you're open, that maybe it's something that you can try too. Okay, so like I said, it's 7 steps to engaging life's magic. And so this book is broken down into 7 different chapters. The first one, and I'm going to be reading a little bit from this because, like I said, I've almost finished it, but it's still fresh in my mind. I haven't got a chance to apply everything that I wanted to. So I wouldn't call myself an expert on this whatsoever, but I want to make sure that I'm giving you the goods. So in case if it is a book that you want to read, then you'll go out and grab it. Okay. So chapter 1, or after the introduction, it's understand your power. That's number 1. 2, chart your course. 3, take action and delegate. 4, leverage the universe. 5, align your beliefs. 6, engage the magic. And 7, adjust your sails. So those are the 7 steps to help you, quote unquote, leverage the universe, whatever you believe in. Okay. And so it breaks it down, like I said. And so the first chapter, understanding your power, he says, not understanding the nature of our reality and hence our power and its source is the number 1 reason people actually fail. With understanding, doubt is vanished, confidence soars, and living deliberately becomes automatic. So I feel like this is like when you think that you're just here to be here and die and the world is out to get you, and you're not willing to learn from lessons, learn from mistakes, learn from trials, you're going to consider your life or certain circumstances a failure. But when I understood this concept of understanding my power, that everything I believe happens for me, not to me, everything happens to me for a reason. There's a lesson in every trial. There's a message in every mess. Like when I understood that, it allowed me to take power, and it allowed me to take pride and accountability for the things I was going through. And so I love that, understanding your power. And so that's, chapter one. You can go through it, you can read it, but just understanding that there's no way that you can fail in life if you don't have that in your vocabulary, if you refuse to accept failure, and you see all these people who look like, they're always happy, who are going out and doing all these things and winning all this stuff, and they're healthy, they've got a good relationship, family, like all of the things that maybe you want. What you don't see are the things that they had to go through, the lessons that they had to learn. I know a lot of people look at me and they think, wow, she's got her life together, she's healthy, she's got a good relationship. But what you didn't see is my two divorces before. What you didn't see is when we thought that Paisley was going to be born with cystic fibrosis, and we were down in Utah all of the time getting her checked and learning about how we were going to handle this disability and like learn those things. What you didn't see is me sitting at 210 pounds, unhappy, hating myself in my life, until I decided to get down to business and take me as priority, right? Like those are the things that you didn't see, but now you see me now. So you need to understand your power, that you're in control of your life. Number two is to chart your course, taking stock of where you are, no matter where you are, taking stock of where you are, no matter where you are, and answering these three simple questions. They're going to help reveal to you what you can immediately begin doing to bring about major changes in your life, even if you don't know exactly what you want. Okay. And so what are these three questions is, what do I want? You need to target your destination. Where am I today? You need to establish your starting point. And which paths will I take? Charting your course. And this is crazy. Okay. Because I went to school to be a high school math teacher. That's what I wanted to be since I was in 10th grade. And so I got a soccer scholarship to the University of Wyoming playing soccer. I landed a job, my first job, right out of college, teaching middle school science and math. I taught there for 2 years, and then I got my dream job at the high school in the town that I lived in. Okay. And I had to drive my first 2 years of teaching. I had to drive to a town that was about an hour away there and back every day for 2 years. And then I just had to say, I can't do that anymore. Like I refuse, I'll just sub in the town that I live in. And so I actually resigned from that job. And then one opened up here, and I was able to land a job like in the town that I live in. But if I wasn't willing to get rid of that, then I wouldn't have this. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But you need to know where you're going. And so 10th grade, I knew that I wanted to be a math teacher. I knew that I wanted to play soccer. So because I knew those things, I knew what colleges to look for. And when I felt right about the one in Wyoming, I went there, right? And then I got led to this job, and I got led to that job. And then I had a kid, and then things started to change. And so I decided I was going to stay home, and another opportunity came up. And I worked that opportunity for about a year working from home, and I enjoyed it and it was good. But then I just thought, I need more. I want more. And so I sat down by myself and I said, if I could get paid for doing anything, if I could get paid for doing anything in the whole wide world, what would I want to do? And I said, I would want to sit home. I would want to get paid for eating and working out. And that seemed so like impossible at the time. This was about 7 years ago. This just seemed so impossible at the time. Like, how am I supposed to get paid for just staying at home, working out, and eating food? And you guys, because I knew what I wanted, the universe led me to this position where now I literally have created different resources and different online products where I do get paid for working out and then sharing those workouts with other people, for eating food and creating recipes and sharing those recipes with other people. And of course, I do other things, but like, it's insane because I said that 7 years ago, not knowing how, when, where, what, why, all of the things. And then because I knew where I wanted to go, here I'm getting there. The second thing is, where am I today? Establish your starting point. So, at that time, where was I? I was a recently resigned math teacher at home with a 1-year-old, pregnant with another, thinking, what am I doing? After I had Paisley, I was overweight, like I said, at 210 pounds. I had no like self-confidence. I basically was just a mom. I was just giving to my kids, and I just felt worthless. Like I didn't feel valued. I didn't feel like I was going anywhere in life. And so you need to establish where you are today? And then number 3 is which paths will I take, charting your course. And sometimes opportunities knock and you say, oh, that's not for me. Oh, I don't have time. Oh, this, oh, that. And you like just shove them away. But this opportunity that may not look what you think it should look like is actually getting you on the path to getting you where you want to go. And I just think if I never started network marketing 7.5 years ago, almost 8 years ago now, I thought it was a pyramid scheme. I thought it was a scam. I thought that like nobody really makes money doing those things. No one's actually successful with it, right? And if I would have kept knocking that opportunity, because I'll be honest, I knocked it for a while, but if I kept knocking that opportunity, that was the answer to my prayers. And so just kind of keep in mind that, what do you want? Where am I today? And which path will I take? Okay. And you've got to get moving, which we'll talk about that one next. Okay. So the next thing I want to go into is charting your course. Oh no, we just did that one, taking stock of where you are now and the 3 simple questions. Okay. So number 3 is to take action and delegate, knowing what you can, should, and must do versus what you mustn't ever do. What you must delegate is crucial in leveraging the universe and engaging in life's magic. Okay. And so what do you need to do to take action? I love this quote. It says, in life, as soon as you master what's in front of you, you're raised to the next level and choices abound. Whereas if you don't master what's in front of you, life will let you flounder. And so being a leader, there were like everyone starts at the bottom. I mean, anything that you learn, anything that you do. I remember being a sandwich artist. Okay. And so at Subway, okay, sandwich artist just sounds beautiful, right? It sounds like a really professional job, but like I was a Subway sandwich maker. Okay. And, my first day on the job, I had to learn where everything was. I remember the first day that they made us do all of the food inventory, food prep. So I had to go in the back. I had to drain the olives. I had to cut the green peppers. I had to slice the tomatoes in the tomato slicer. Like I had to do all of the food prep. And that was an important piece of my job because I needed to know what all the veggies were called. I needed to know where to find them. Right. And once I mastered that, which didn't take me very much time, it took me maybe, a couple hours on my first day on the job. Then they were like, all right, let's get you on the line. Let's get you making a sandwich. And I remember lunch rush, people are waiting in line and somebody wants a BMT. And I was like, what the heck is a BMT? Do I need like bacon, mayo, tomato? Like, what is a BMT? And now I know it stands for bigger, meatier, tastier. So if you didn't learn that, at least now you know, right? But I didn't know what went on it. So I had to like look on this little cheat sheet that they had. I had to find it. And I was like trying to get apart the meat, which is really hard, and make sure that it's folded and what kind of cheese and moving over the veggies. Luckily, I had prepped a lot of them. So I know what most of them were, putting it on, putting on the dressings, and then wrapping those sandwiches. The first time you wrap a sandwich, I'm horrible at wrapping presents. You can ask Derek, but the first time I wrapped a sandwich, half of it was falling out. So I had to rewrap it. There's a line. I'm sure everyone's getting frustrated with me, right? All the things, like I had to master the line. I had to master all the sandwiches. And then eventually I got the headset. And I know that this is getting long at talking about sandwiches, but this is important. But then I got the headset where I was trying to make multiple sandwiches through the drive-through line. And, eventually I got very, very good at that. And then I started opening and closing stores. And then I actually got my own store and I got to be a manager, but then I was in charge of hiring and letting people go and ordering the food that we needed and just knowing how much to put out and all of these things. Okay. So you have to master what's in front of you first. I had to master cutting the veggies before I could move on to the rest of it. Okay. Same thing as being a parent, same thing in relationships, right? You have to master the foundational things before you can move on to the rest. Otherwise, you're just stuck floundering. You're just stuck at ground zero, at ground one, right? If I never mastered how to make a sandwich, I would have never become a store owner, and all the lessons and things, of course, that came along with that. So I really love that. In life, as soon as you master what's in front of you, you're raised to the next level and choices abound. Okay, same thing with being a leader. Being a leader in my company, I had to master how to make posts. I had to master how to send messages. I had to master how to create content, how to do all of these things, right? And then I got better and better and better. And so it was easier for me to duplicate. But eventually, there was a time in my business where I hired somebody to do those other things. So that way I could use my time to do what I felt like was more important things for me, not the mundane things. But I had to know what was at ground zero, so that way I could teach somebody else to do it, so then I didn't have to do it myself. And so definitely very important to take action and delegate. Now there is something that I have here. This is a little activity that you can do. Does this go along with step 3? Hold on, let me make sure. No, that's step 4. Okay, so back to step 3. Only after your first step can you begin to take your second. You have to do something, do anything. You're not going to be a professional at something from the very beginning. You have to do the work. Okay, so now we're getting into number 4. So number 4 is leverage the universe. So once you understand your power, you chart your course, and you take action on the things that you can do right now, then you can look into leveraging the universe, which is number 4. Beyond having a vision and physically moving with it, learning how to playfully use your thoughts, words, and deeds will bring exponential returns on your effort. Okay, so what does this mean? You can make a little triangle like this, draw a line down the middle. You put you on one side, universe on the other side, and you write your goal up top. Okay, so this is a little triangle activity that's in the book. And so you set your goal. Okay, so for me right now, I've got a goal. I want to hit elite in my company. That is one of the top level ranks by the end of September. Okay, so that is my goal. I know exactly what I need to do in order to hit that as far as like logistics go. And so what can I do? So a couple examples. I can make more phone calls, send more messages. I can expand my network. I can continue refining my education about how to communicate better with people, how to the right times to do posts, the right words to avoid, all those things. So I can continue my education. I can attain licenses, certifications. I can build websites. I can create business cards. Okay. And those are things that I have done to help grow my credibility as far as becoming CrossFit L1. I don't know what I'm allowed to say along the lines of that, but also getting my personal training certificate. I'm reading books on how food works in your body. I'm just constantly trying to grow. Okay, creating a business plan. So I figured out what my goal was and I reverse engineered about what I need to do every single day in order to hit these benchmarks to work towards my goal. Asking mentors for help. That's something that I can do. I can follow people who are already successful. I can reach out to them and ask what they're doing, read how-to books and success stories of those who have gone before you. This is something that's interesting to think about. I used to hate seeing people who were better than me online. Okay, that doesn't feel good to say, but I know that it can maybe relate to some of you guys, but I hated seeing people be successful online with the things that I wanted to do because I was thinking, oh my gosh, since they've already done it, there's not enough room for me. And that's a lie. Okay. And so I learned to like change my thought process and thinking like, if they can do it, I can do it too. Let me see what they're doing. Let me see what they're saying. Let me see what they're writing. Let me see what videos they're creating, what posts they're making, and let me put my own twist on it and do the same thing. Because if they can do it, I can do it too. And so I allowed my feed to be full of people who were doing better than me. So that way it would inspire me and encourage me to keep going and pushing harder. And also the key thing too is help others who want what you want. Okay, so working together with other people who want what you have. Now, this isn't just in business. You could use it for improving a relationship. Could you learn how to cook? Could you learn how to communicate better? Could you set up date nights and like hire babysitters and like plan ahead for that? Same thing for going back to school, researching what school would be best for you, thinking about different classes that you can take that can help grow your skills, getting in study groups or joining Facebook groups or things like that. Like those are things that you can take action on right now that will help you get closer to your goal. And so then what do you put on the universe's side? Okay, so one thing that I think is very important, is let my posts explode, let my reels go viral, let me be seen by a lot of people. I'm not in charge of that. The algorithm gods are, okay. And so, that's something that I could ask the universe, like inspire me to be posting at the right time or using the right trending sound or the right trending hashtag, right? Those kinds of things, like help it to go viral. Give me a bright idea. I always have these ideas I call like my shower ideas. I probably get them in the shower because I don't like nobody can bother me in there, right? And so I end up taking like 30-minute showers as I'm like waiting for this idea to fully develop and cook while I'm in the shower, but like I can ask the universe, like, send me ideas or give me a dream or give me an inspiration or put me in line with somebody. And I've seen this happen so many times in my life. It's insane. And maybe you have too. Maybe it's a little bit creepy, but the other day I was asking Derek about something, and then the next second I open up my Instagram and I see an ad for it. And I was like, oh my gosh, who is listening to me right now? This is super creepy. But then I was like grateful because I needed that. I had this really great, I call it my $1 billion idea. And I'm like, how do I go about like getting things patented and making apps? And then I like saw this YouTube video about this guy who was looking for the next best idea. And I was like, are you kidding me? Now the video was made in 2017. So I don't know if he's still looking for the best idea, but I screenshotted it. I'm like, hey, I have a name, when I'm ready to go down that route. I have a name of someone who was at one point looking for this. And so it's just insane that, when you know what to ask for, or you know what you want, then you can start, maybe the universe starts giving you some ideas. So I asked for that, give me some ideas, resolve inner conflicts, arrange circumstances to ease your journey, open your eyes to new possibilities. And then the other thing too, that's really cool is when you start sharing your goals or what you need with other people, maybe they know somebody, or maybe they are going to see something. I remember a friend that was asking me about something. I always say something because I can't ever remember, but, and then, the next day I saw something and I was like, oh my gosh, like this relates to you exactly what you were looking for. And then I could tag them and I could send them the post, that way they could look at it a little bit more. But, when you share your goals with other people, that might be the universe working in your favor by putting it into their space or an experience that they had or someone that they know. Okay. So you're just going to go ahead and you're going to just list out all of the action that you can take, all of the woo woo universe action that you would like to have help with in reaching your goal. So you can definitely try that. That's chapter 4, leveraging the universe. Okay, let me see if there's anything else in there that I wanted to tell you about. No. Okay, so then we are on to step 5, align your beliefs. There's no need to figure out what invisible beliefs now limit you. They are invisible after all. Instead, simply know what you want your beliefs to be and align them with your dreams and begin installing them. Okay, and so what's going to happen on your journey? This is chapter 5. What's going to happen on your journey is doubt, fear, uncertainty, all those things are going to creep in, and it's going to make you second guess, are you on the right track? Like I said, you're going to have obstacles or trials or things that you would consider failures. And I would encourage you during this time to make sure that you find the lesson in it and be able to grow from it. That is so, so important. Okay. And so when we're talking about aligning your beliefs, make sure that it's okay to let the negative, like just run through and run out, but then replace with positive, replace with its truth, replace with what you want it to be. Now that's not to say that you're always going to be 100% positive, but your energy is going to go where your focus is, or your focus goes, or your energy goes where focus flows. And so you want to make sure that you're focusing on the positive things, that you're, like I said, finding the good in situations, because that's ultimately going to bring more good into your life. If all you keep saying and thinking is, everything's not going my way, nothing ever works out, then that's what you're going to be believing and bringing into your space. That's kind of like your reticular activating system. I don't know if you guys have heard of that before, but it's like the coolest thing ever. It happened when we were in Florida in February. We were talking about what was on our goals and what was on our dream boards. And I said, I wanted a Range Rover with a top down. And everyone's like, ooh, what's that? And I said, I don't know. I'll let you know when I see the next one. Now, this was our second day in Florida, and I had never seen a Range Rover with its top down. We get to the next stoplight, there's one. We drive another block, there's one. We drive another block, there's one. And it's all of a sudden because I made that important in my mind that my brain would filter through all of the other things that it didn't need to see, but it knew that I wanted that. And so if you align your beliefs and you're focusing on what you want, the universe is going to put it into your space and your brain's going to be looking for it. And so it's just really, really cool. I've had that happen multiple times in my business. Okay. Not my business, in my life. Engage the magic is number 6. Starting and persisting make possible the critical yet unpredictable evolution of events, circumstances, and ideas that will ultimately bring your dreams manifestation. Okay. And so there are 2 key ingredients that you need to make this work. Engaging in the magic is you need faith that it will, and persistence that you will go until. Okay. You don't know how long it's going to take. I always think about the picture. I don't know. Maybe I have it on my phone. Maybe I don't, but it's about a guy that's mining, and he's mining for diamonds. And then there's the one that like quits early. And then there's the one that hits the jackpot. And I think all of the time, like, I'm not going to be the person that quits early. I don't know where these diamonds are, or where they're coming, or anything like that, but I'm not going to be the one that quits early and doesn't get my reward. And so that mental image, I don't think I have it anymore, but it's a good one. That mental image is what I always think about whenever I feel like throwing the towel, or maybe it's not for me. Okay. Darn it. I was hoping I had it, but I deleted it. Okay. Next one is number 7, adjust your sails. Even though you're now under full sail and your journey is progressing, there will not likely be any trace of land on the horizon. Here's how to assure you're on course in spite of appearances. So adjusting your sails means that you need to allow yourself to evolve and change. I am not the same person I was in 10th grade when I knew I wanted to be a high school math teacher. I'm not the same person I was when I started teaching math. Thank goodness. I'm not the same person I was as a new mom. I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago. I'm not the same person I was a year ago, maybe even 6 months ago. I have changed and evolved with my processes, with my different lessons that I've learned. And so allow yourself that. Now, here's what I'll say is sometimes the people around you aren't changing and evolving. And so they may be putting you down. They may be telling you like, why are you doing that? Why are you changing so much? They may not want to see you succeed and get better and better yourself. It's like the crab mentality. All the crabs are in the bucket. When one gets close to coming out, they all pull them down. And it's like, if they just linked claws, they could just all get out of the bucket, but they don't want to see somebody get better than them. And so, as you continue to change and evolve, that might mean that you have to level up your circle. That might mean that you have to say goodbye to small-minded people. You can still like love them and cherish what they gave you, but if you want to grow, you got to level up your circle. And so, just know that that can happen, in relationships and friendships, in family relationships, those things can happen. Okay. You need to make sure that you're honest with yourself. Are you really doing the things that you need to do? Or are you just sitting back waiting for the universe to manifest all of your dreams? There's a balance between taking action and doing it all yourself and doing absolutely nothing and waiting for it to be handed to you. You need to like meet in the middle where you're working, but you're also open to the possibility of help or redirection or anything like that. Changing direction is not quitting. And this has been a big shift for me. For those of you who followed me, do know that I recently stopped with one company and started with another company, and nobody ever saw it coming. I didn't even see it coming, but I had been with that company for so long and I just didn't see how I could continue to grow. The leaders above me weren't better than me. They weren't pushing me. They weren't giving me advice. They weren't leading me in a higher calling. The products changed, the company changed, the business model changed. And instead of continuing with what was comfortable, I knew that I was called for more, and I didn't know what that looked like. And then a new opportunity came. I'd never looked at another opportunity before very closely, but I just felt led to it. And when I made the decision, I prayed about it and I talked to my husband about it and the people that were most important. And when the decision came for me to make that move, I felt it in my heart that God was saying, my good and faithful servant, you were diligent and honest and good in these few things, and now I'm ready to give you more. And so switching over wasn't quitting for me. It was leveling up. And so keep that in mind, that changing directions is not quitting in most cases. It was a new path. And the leadership here is the leadership that I ultimately want to become. the systems that they're using are duplicatable so more people can win. And like these things were really important to me. And if I would have seen them 3 years ago, 5 years ago, I don't know that I would have been ready for it. And so I always like wonder to myself, like, why now? But I don't have to worry about the why. I don't have to worry about the how. All I know is that I go with my heart, and I'm continuing to move forward. And ultimately, my goal is to help more people be happier in their health, happier in their relationships, happier in their life. And if I can do that with this company and feel even better about it, then I know that I'm in the right place. And then also just keep in mind that doubts are part of it. Doubts are part of your journey. Um, you can't get around it. There are days where I'm like, oh my gosh, should I have just stayed there and collected a really nice paycheck by not working? Was this the right company? Should I looked around a little bit more? Am I working too hard? Am I leading my team correctly? Like all of these things, you guys, like are always constantly going through my head. And I just have to put it aside and I got to do me. Okay. And I have to replace all the lies with truths and continue to move forward. And so I want you guys, I know I talk a lot about business and stuff, but I want you to like apply these in a new relationship, in a new career, in a new education, if you're moving, to a new location, going through these steps and making sure that you know ultimately what you want your life to look like. And then using these 7 steps, like we talked about, to be able to engage, if you will, the universe's magic. And so I want to just close with this. I think your thoughts, your words, and your deeds are only fulcrums for leveraging the universe and engaging the magic. Okay. And so ultimately, it all goes back to our thoughts. What we believe is what we become. And so I would encourage you guys to know that you are worthy, you are loved, you are important, you are a child of God, and you are here to learn and grow and to become the person that you are meant to be. So embrace all of it with a smile on your face. And I would love to hear from you. So be sure to either respond back in an email if you're getting this on my Fit Tip Friday, or leave a comment and let's chat about this a little bit more. Okay, we'll see you guys.